Welcome to the Ignite Your Soul's Calling Masterclass. I'm your host, Lindsey Fitzgibbons, and I'm very, very excited today to have Sophia Leva Marie with us today. She is a self-love tour guide that specializes in sacred sexuality and divine wealth for coaches and soulpreneurs. Love it. Sophia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm always excited to talk about these things.
Yeah, I know this is like so perfect and dialed in. This feels like your genius. This whole summit is, yeah, just kind of covered it in that first sentence of your bio. I love soulpreneurs, not
Yeah.
entrepreneur. Yeah, so is that your term?
No, it's actually something I heard a few years ago, but it's so aligned because that is the businesses that we're talking about, something that comes from your soul. It's not about commerciality. It is about creating financial wealth for yourself, but it's also about leading with consciousness as well and making an impact in the world. So that's how it comes from soul.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so I'd love to hear your story of how you got into becoming a self-love tour guide.
Well, I actually took, I think, the long route. I actually did the corporate background first. I was a logistics manager and then went into corporate sales training. And then along the way, I actually found energy of somatic modalities, and I was like, oh, something makes sense. And just along the line, I saw how they actually needed to go together because so often in business, especially as women, we're taught to go more masculine. It's a more kind of aggressive energy, but there's a different way to do business. There's an energetic way, a soul way, a way that actually nourishes your body and your business and your soul. And I actually needed that because I was totally in the male dominated world and made myself sick trying to follow it, and then had to kind of completely rebuild in a different way. So it was definitely organic and just beautiful how it unfolded.
Yeah. What did it look like, I guess, when you stepped out of the corporate world and into, more this entrepreneur, soulpreneur um,
Mhm.
journey?
Well, it was definitely by intuition. I actually kind of dragged my feet for a while because, learning that sacred sexuality was a part of my path, I was like, come on, universe, I couldn't be like a cake decorator or something in this life, something easy, but something where there's, a lot of judgment, a lot of things that go into it. So I kind of dragged my feet for some time and I was doing both. And then the universe is like, nope. So it kind of came to a point where I was getting so burned out in my corporate career that I just quit. And I was like, okay, universe, what am I doing? And actually, the first piece for me was getting my yoga teacher training, and then just following the pieces, and then really just being guided to, okay, there's this teacher, there's this course, there's this somatic piece that I need. Oh, you can actually do business in your way, not the strategic way. Because so often we're taught strategy, but it leaves out the missing link of you, or as we talked about, your soul. Because, it's kind of the trite term, but it's really true. You have everything within you. It doesn't mean you can't learn. It doesn't mean there aren't strategies and actions and business structures that we need. But if you look internally, you'll be led to exactly what you need. And that's how it was for me. I was just led piece by piece, and it kind of was the domino effect. And then I started working with coaches and entrepreneurs, and I actually wanted to work with children who had trauma and abuse. And I was like, how am I not working with children? Because I was following the intuitive pieces, and I'm like, okay, I'm working with coaches and entrepreneurs. However, what it turned out to be is that the coaches and entrepreneurs, I'd say about 90% that I work with, they actually have had trauma as a child, but then they're acting from this trajectory point So I actually am working with the child, but in the adult body and in business. So it's so interesting how all the pieces of your life dovetail to create your organic soul business, because sometimes we look at our history and are like, okay, my life seems kind of diametrically opposed, but it all goes together.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love that. I feel like I've had that experience as well. Um, yeah, it doesn't totally look like it makes a lot of sense on paper, but then the
Yes.
skills that I developed in each of those avenues really serve me in what I'm doing now. And then it gets to continue, it will continue to evolve.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the work that you do with your clients.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, working specifically with coaches and entrepreneurs, they're the ones who want to have a larger impact. But at times we create these avenues or ways of being where you're cutting off energy. So the way I like to work with clients is actually to focus on who you're wanting to be and also pleasure. Because there's nothing that will pinpoint where you're cutting off than when you actually focus on pleasure, because it automatically brings up and organically brings up what's in the way. So in reaching for something that you actually want and reaching for the pleasure, whatever's in the way, whether it is a trauma, whether it's abuse, whether it's a way of being, whether it's cutting off receiving, it actually shows up. And it shows up in every aspect. That's why it affects your business and your relationships.
Right. Yeah. I haven't thought about it in that way, but like that is so, I'm like, that makes so much sense. And yeah, it's like our culture sort of it does reinforce that in so many ways, that it's about the doing and there's so much pleasure in just being.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like it's so much easier to be magnetic in business than, like pedaling your feet. Like I get the picture of like, for some reason, the Flintstones were like, they're pedaling their feet trying to go somewhere, but you can do it that way and you could still have, the business and the money, but, maybe you're burned out. Maybe you don't have enough energy for your family or the things you desire. Maybe the love relationship you want isn't happening because all your energy is focused in this way. But if you actually start to focus on going within, following your energy, following your pleasure, then you get to organically find what you're led to. And those pieces come together with so much more ease and flow, and you're just more magnetic to opportunities and money.
Right. That just opened up a bunch of questions that I want to ask. But the first is, so how do you work with people to really transform these blocks to pleasure and abundance?
Mm-hmm. So it's very customized. Like I generally tend to work one-on-one because it's so specific to that person. Like where are you cutting off receiving? What do you need to bring into your life? So it's really looking at, okay, what would you like your life to be? And what is it right now? And what can we change right now that will actually have you actually in pleasure every day? Where can you delegate? Where can you actually look in a different way as far as business? Like for instance, I have a client who I have him looking at business energetically. So if an opportunity comes, instead of looking on paper like, oh, this looks like going to be an amazing client, sometimes that can be, but sometimes this client can turn out to be a nightmare or turn out, to take so much more time. So instead of looking at opportunities on paper, you look at it energetically. So how does that actually feel in your body? Because your body is kind of like a tuning fork, and that's often the missing link. We look at the logical pieces or the logical ways of doing things. But if you actually start to look at your entire life energetically and make choices from that place, then life gets a lot easier because your intuition is involved, which has the 360-degree view, whereas on paper, we can make a misstep.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. So as your clients become more energetically aligned with their intuition, it's like they can call in what really resonates with that, it sounds like.
Exactly. Yes. So it's like what choices are on paper. And it's like looking through every area of their life. How are you handling your relationships? How are you looking at your business? And when you really tune into your energetics and your intuition, then you absolutely can make those choices that are soul led rather than mind led, which can get us in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. So the financial abundance piece of the business.
Mhm.
So I imagine that the pleasure of sort of having the freedom of, financial abundance
Mhm.
might be something that your clients work through.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like particularly in the spiritual, like the more spiritual entrepreneurs, there are a lot of misunderstandings about money. I mean, I know that I've had my own, and
Yeah.
it's greedy and it's bad, and we shouldn't charge for our gifts and things like that. Um,
Mhm.
so how do you work with like what are some tools that people can begin to like break up some of those patterns? How do you work with that with people?
Mhm. So again, it's returning to what is the money for? Because again, there's a misassociation of what energy is for. We think, oh, we want to create the money, but money's just an energy. So what does the money actually get you? So is it the freedom to travel? Is it more time with your kids or your partner? Is it moving to a different place? So it's not actually focusing on the money. Also, there's the connection again to your body.
Mhm.
So body is one of your biggest assets, and it's one we don't often use because housing, food, clothing, all of this is for your body. So you can actually begin to communicate with your body and actually ask your body to contribute to those finances.
Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more. You got me.
So again, we often bypass our body. Like we kind of go around and again, we're in the strategy, we're in the what we think should happen. But again, our body is this missing asset that we have use of
Right.
and is the only actually asset that we have to rely on. Like you can't rely on another person, you can't rely on money, you can't rely on economy, but the only person you can count on to be with you your entire life is your body.
Mhm.
So it's starting to have a communication with your body. So if you had a best friend and you never asked them what they wanted to do, what they wanted to wear, what they wanted to eat, what they wanted to do in business, okay, we're going into business together, but I'm never going to ask you anything.
Right.
That may not go so well. So again, your body has this information. So your body, again, as we referred to earlier, is this tuning fork of awareness
Mm.
that doesn't lie to you. Whereas your mind has certain neural pathways, has habits, it's looking into the past and in the future, but your body won't lie to you. So if you connect into your body has that awareness because it can connect to your intuition. So if you actually connect to your body, okay, where might my next clients be? Body, where's the money for this? If you actually start to create a communion with your body, you'll actually hear that awareness. And the more you follow it, the more that opens up for you.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, the concept is familiar, right? But
Mhm.
this sort of the dialogue with the body, um,
Yes,
it tends to be more, how can we nourish and, what does my body need? And of course, those are really important
absolutely.
questions, absolutely. But
Yes.
it's an interesting, this specific approach is a really interesting way to work together, but also it feels like it would um, really address the burnout aspect that so many people, especially entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
like you have to take care of your body so that you can
Yes.
communicate with your body and do all the things that you want to do, but then like bringing it on board for like these bigger,
Yes.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Yes. So you actually create a partnership. So it's like it's actually your most important business partnership is with your body.
Yeah.
Because as you say, you need to nourish your body so that you can physically have the stamina to make the calls, to interact with the clients or the paperwork or the accounting or whatever it is. And your body also has that information. So if you're not tapping into that information, again, you have this asset that's just sitting there. So your body has all this information. This is your most important business partnership, is with your body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
by starting there, you actually are starting ahead of the game because, again, all the information's within you, where your next clients are, where the next money flows are coming in, you know, where your next accounts, where you can cut costs or things you need to add. It's all within you. You just have to tap into it.
Right, right. Yeah, and it's, you know, I'm a hypnotherapist, so it's such a beautiful way of just letting the conscious mind take a little bit of a rest and stop running the show, and like telling us all what to do. And like
Yes.
it's still there and it's really helpful, but there certainly are moments. I mean, it's like it's particularly executing what your body has told you, right? The conscious mind, you got to have that. But it is like a nice little way to just drop in and be more connected.
Yes, and it's not limited. Whereas our mind, you know, it only has the viewpoint of what it's read, what's happened in the past, or what it thinks should happen in the future. Whereas again, your body has the access to the 360-degree view that you may not see. So maybe by calling this one person, it connects you to someone, or they say something that has a piece of information you need, or that. And it's just really following the energetic blueprint that's already there for you, but it's your choice to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So how does this tie into, you know, there are a lot of people who are who are entrepreneurs that have, you know, spiritual gifts and want to be of service in the world. And then they come up against the idea of having to sell their services, right? Just like bring on clients so that they can, you know, do the work that they love to do. But the idea of sales can be very, confronting and challenging. And it's so interesting that that's in your background. Like,
It is.
yeah. So I'd love to hear your perspective and like maybe even how you experienced it prior to this, you know, what you're doing now, and also how that experience in the corporate world has served you in this, in your current business.
Yes. Yeah, so it was interesting that that was my background. And when I would go in and work with people and corporations, it was actually about the person selling more so than the product. Because, you know, that is kind of what people bump up against is like, oh, I'm selling myself.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's actually not about you.
Right.
We make it personal, like, oh, I have to sell myself, like it's about me, but you actually need to take the focus off of you. It's actually arrogant for you to try and decide what the client needs. It's totally up to you to give them all the points, all the information they need so they can make an educated decision. And of course, to be honest and ethical about it. However, you can't take the choice away from them. So it's actually something that was pointed out to me, that it was arrogant of me to think that I should make the decision for someone else. It's kind of like that free will choice. So if you give them all the information and they decide for themselves, that's their free will. And also, if you have something that could actually truly assist a client and you don't actually offer it, what does that make you? Like if you actually hide behind, well, I don't want to sell or I don't want to bring this up, but you actually are doing them a disservice and yourself because you're not actually honoring what they need. And I mean, with these spiritual businesses, they are here to shift consciousness. They're here to shift lives. They're here to make a bigger impact. And if you're not willing to offer that, you're actually not doing your job for consciousness. And it is that important. Like, because what we're called to is for a reason. Like, it is part of our soul purpose. And if we don't honor that, we're not honoring the other person, and we're not honoring consciousness.
I think that's such a key, that it's really not about us. You know, it's like, it is bigger. It's like, what is your mission? And, you know, what is your soul's purpose? You know, and how can you be a vehicle to support that in the world, but not make it about you. That took me a little while to figure that out.
Me too.
But once I got it, it really did change everything.
Yeah.
Because then you aren't being rejected. You're just not a good match for that person. Exactly. And it's just as powerful to call forward this idea of, like, if you don't make yourself visible, if you don't offer, or at least let the person know what you could, you know, what you might be able to support them with, and that is just as much a disservice. You're not being, you know, humble, or, you know, it's like, you really do need to step into your power and what you can offer that person. Yes. And share it. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of reasons why people feel worried about putting themselves out in the world in that way, but yeah, it's good. It's just a good reminder.
Yes. Yeah. And again, I mean, you know, I've certainly gone through the gamut of things of not wanting to be visible, and, like, you know, in my, you know, kind of niche with sexuality, like, okay, you know, how much do I want of my personal life? But again, you know, the things we share aren't for us. They are to assist someone else. So again, it's not about you. It's like, how willing are you to be of service? And what you share, it comes through you. Like, again, it may not be a specific strategy, but it could just be you feel so aligned and so knowing that you can help this person. And if you're willing to just show up, then whatever happens, whether they say yes or no, you did what you were here to do. Because it's not necessarily about an outcome, like they buy your product or they work with you, or that. It's just a shift in energy. Again, it's about consciousness. So if you show up, whatever that looks like, then that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so can you make the connection between our sexuality and our business?
Yes, yes. So again, there are these places of untapped energy. So the way I look at sexuality is, it's not, of course, just about sexual interaction. It's about your creativity and your power. It's literally your life force that flows through you. Now, most people kind of relegate your sexuality to intercourse, masturbation, or creating a child. But this energy is running through your body at all times. So that's pretty much most of your life. This energy isn't being used. But you have a choice to actually use it. So you can actually begin to channel this energy, and you can activate it towards creating your business. Again, it's your power, it's your creativity, it's life force. You're feeding your business. You're feeding the energy. When you're thinking of creative ideas, you have this energy flowing within you if you choose. So it's actually a necessary piece, and I actually think it's the kind of next level of consciousness that needs to be tapped into, because it's so underused at this point. Because a lot of times it's more so talked about, but it's still a little more taboo. It's not something that's so mainstream. But that's actually what needs to change, that you actually have this active power and creativity within you that you get to tap into.
Right, right. Well, I think I mean, you speak to it so beautifully, especially as an entrepreneur, you know, it is the creative force. Like, you are bringing something new out into the world. And so if there's some way that you are not in alignment with that energy, yeah, that's going to be hard.
Exactly. And you think of like sexual energy is creation energy. So you can create a child, or you can create a program, you can create a product, you can create a coaching service. You get to birth these things into the world. So again, you have this energy available to you if you choose to tap into it.
Yeah. It feels like there's a lot of, or maybe not a lot, but there's some like reworking of our mindset around what sexuality means.
Exactly.
It's very like charged in our culture, and just this idea of like equating it to creative energy is kind of just shifts the whole game. I mean,
absolutely.
hopefully for a lot of people.
Exactly. And for women especially, we have the same physical tissue in our throat and in our cervix. So that's our sexual center and how we express ourselves. So again, how are you expressing yourself? If you can't actually express yourself in what you want in the bedroom, you won't necessarily be able to express yourself in the boardroom. So it does go across all those different aspects. So how are you expressing yourself? Where are you cutting off? How you speak up for yourself, what you're asking for. Are you willing to charge for your services? Are you willing to ask for what you want? Are you even willing to express yourself, or are you kind of more timid, or, kind of the under the covers? So it is really an active part of yourself that is affecting your life and your business.
Yeah. And it feels like it might support people to shift into that more feminine way, move out of the masculine, like bring more balance between the masculine and the feminine energy as you grow your business, out of the doing crazy. Which isn't bad. The doing isn't bad. I mean, as we said, but it's that balance of like holding both energies.
Yes. You actually require them, because if you just do, again, that's where you get the burnout. I mean, I totally went through that. I mean, the day after I turned 34, they told me I had 2 weeks to live, because I had so burned myself out. Like I literally was killing myself from just being in the masculine, being in the, I have to get this done, I have to get this done, I have to get this done. And I had to make a choice. I had to do things differently. And as you say, there has to be that marriage. So when you actually connect to your feminine energy and that intuition and that receiving, that supports the inspired action that you need to take. And that actually takes you further rather than just doing everything.
It's so powerful that like, what an intense message to receive, that you have 2 weeks to live. And like, have you gone back to your doctors? No. Look what I did.
Yeah, I decided not.
No, but it's like that. I don't know, like what a powerful teaching that would be for the, for medical providers, that, how you just like managed to, and what you've been able to create from that place is so amazing.
Yeah. And it starts with a choice, because at that point I had to choose to live, number one. Right. And I had to choose to do something different. Otherwise, I would have just recreated it in a different way. Now, you don't have to go to the extreme like I did. I tend to be an extremist, so I'm not surprised. But, are you stressed out? Are you running on fumes? Do you have a million things to do and you're putting everyone first? It's showing up in your life in a certain way. It's showing up that you don't have boundaries. It's showing up that you have clients that take advantage of you and you just kind of let them slide. It shows up in all these different ways. So it's up to you to choose, okay, this has to stop and I need to do things a different way. So it starts there, making the decision and like the firm choice, and then, okay, what am I led to that will support that?
Right. Yeah. And how wonderful that you got it at such a young age, that message, and that you made that choice.
Yeah.
Such a gift. Yeah. Okay. So would love to have you lead us through a process or a meditation to help us kind of deepen into this, this place.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking kind of since we've talked about the sexual energy in the body and the business, I'll lead through a meditation that just kind of connects all those and let's see where we go. All right, so just close your eyes and really allow yourself the gift of becoming aware in this moment and become spatially aware. What's the temperature in the air? What's the scent? Feel your body wherever you're sitting or laying. Feel your feet grounding to the earth, almost as if the earth had like little suction cups. So really feeling like you're solid and supported. And we have the gift of having 75 trillion or so cells in our body. So let's actually open those up as if they're windows. And let's actually start to receive energy. So what would the earth and the universe like to contribute to our cells? So you have this open energy of any energies, frequencies, nutrients, vibrations for your particular body. They're just allowing to flow in only for your highest. This is for your body. What your body requires. Each cell has divine intelligence, and it's receiving exactly what it requires. And your crown opens, and as this energy is flowing in from the top of your head, there's this beautiful white gold energy from the divine that flows in, kind of the active Holy Spirit, the breath of life flowing through, activating all of these cells. And as you start to pulse and contract your pelvic region, you're connecting with the Earth Shakti energy, which is the Earth sexual energy. And as you're pulsing your own pelvic region, you're activating your own sexual energy and essence. And you're pulling that Earth Shakti in through your hands and through your feet. So the earth is providing sexual, creative energy and nourishment and nurturing. And allow that to rest in your womb. It does not matter if you're a man or woman, the womb is the energetic container of creativity, of desire, of possibility. So the sexual energy, this essence, your body being full and satiated, actually getting what it needs. It's turning your attention to your womb and dropping your awareness to that. Think about your business. Are there ideas circulating in your womb about your business? How would you like your business to look? How would you like it to feel? Would you like to feel supported? To feel free? To feel nourished? To feel like you're making an impact? How many days per week would you like to work? Or hours? How much free time would you like to have with your loved ones? You're just dropping this information into your womb, this kind of storehouse and incubator of information. What is the financial abundance that would actually serve you, that would allow you the ability to take care of your responsibilities, that will allow you freedom to travel or to play or to take your family on those vacations or to buy that house you've wanted? to really have that freedom of time and energy. And turning up your possibility for receiving, almost as if there's a dial in front of you. Turn up your receiving. Would you be willing to receive more? What kind of clients would you like to work with? Who would your soulmate clients be? Would they be fun to work with? Would you be excited that they have a call with you or an interaction? Would they pay in full or on time every time? Would they refer other amazing clients to you? What results or experiences would they have? What would your business support team look like? Do you have an assistant, an accountant, attorneys? Are there 5 people in your company or 500? Do you have multiple companies? Who are you serving? What shift in consciousness are you bringing forward? And just seeding this energy in your womb. Again, this is the incubator for what you desire, what you require. If there's any pieces that I didn't ask or that are required for your particular business, may they drop in this moment. And turning your awareness to your heart, as if your heart was a bowl and it just tipped over and it flooded your womb. So those desires, that business you've been building is filled with love, with heart, with soul that comes through your love and your heart. Again, your crown opens, and that beautiful Holy Spirit, that active breath of spirit and universe floods through into your womb, mixing with your heart and soul energy and this business that you are creating. And then allowing all that energy that's been building to flow into your entire body. So your entire body is being infused with this heart and soul-led business. The information, the possibilities, the connections. It's filling your entire body. And then that energy starts to pour out of your body. It pours into the room you're in, then the building, the city, state, country, planet, and out to the reaches of the universe. And as it does so, your consciousness, your business, that soul and heart led, is flooding the entire universe. And you start to see little lights popping up. This is energetic pieces of information. These are clients. These are connections. And as that energy flows back towards you, they're connecting to you. All this has been set up. All the connections, all the information, all the clients, all the pieces of information or awareness that you need are now flooding back into your body, filled with your essence and that of universal knowledge and intelligence. And as that floods in, just drop into your heart. And is there one thing that you could do today that would bring you closer to what we've just activated? Just allow that awareness, whether it makes logical sense or not. And if you're not having an awareness come to you, just know that it will. Just be willing to receive. Just to integrate all these energies and awarenesses, let's take 3 deep breaths. I have you breathe a little differently. Breathe into your womb. Breathe up your spine, activating the Kundalini energy, and breathe out of your heart. So again, breathe into your womb, up your spine, and out of your heart. And one last time. Your womb, spine, and out of your heart. And just allow yourself again to become spatially aware. Feel your feet on the ground, your touch points of scent and sound and feel. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
This is always the tricky part.
The transition.
Like going so deep into the meditations and then coming out, and yeah, that was amazing. So many great questions in there.
Yes. And there is no difference in creation, whether we're going through it logically on paper or in spirit. So what was activated here was real for everyone listening. So that actually is activated. Those pieces, those connections are out there. So if you just allow yourself to receive the intuition of them, it will bring you to where you need to be.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, and I love that sort of, it is there. It's there. We just get to tap into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so not only that, and all of our amazing, juicy conversation, you're also offering a free gift, which is a next level consciousness masterclass. Do you want to just say a little bit about that?
Yes. So it's actually going a little bit deeper into our conversation of the 3 pieces that are actually necessary for consciousness and for conscious business. They are spirituality, our sexuality, and our divine wealth. So it's bringing those together and how you can actually activate those and why they're actually not optional anymore in creating consciousness and creating conscious business. So we'll get to play with that in a master class and Q&A just for your listeners.
Great. And it's happening, I think, tomorrow, right?
Actually, February 2nd. February 2nd.
Yeah.
Yep. So that will be tomorrow. Yep. So they'll get to come play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sign up. You just have to click on the link that we provided so you can register for that class.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love that it's like continuing the master class.
Exactly.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you, Sophia, so much for being here today. I really enjoyed our conversation and learned so much.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. And thank you for bringing this information out, because it is important, and how perfect at the beginning of the year when people are thinking, okay, how do I want to seed my business and what I'm doing with my purpose at the beginning of the year, and how important it is to actually do it in a soulful way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like this year in particular has got some really juicy energy.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that meditation of just like coming into alignment with it is going to be so helpful for people. Yeah. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.